Now, I want to turn to this Richard Marles travel scandal. He's the Defence Minister. He promised or indicated, at least in media interviews, that he would provide some more information about the $3.6 million he spent on private flights. He hasn't done that. And in fact, he initially claimed that there was security advice that indicated there was concerns about pattern of life behaviour. So if he released the travel documents, this would be a security concern. But it turns out, and David Shoebridge revealed this last night on my program, there has been no new guidelines since 2013. Bronwyn, what's your reaction to this?
Well, look, the precedents were all set back in 2009. And that's when Wayne Swan, as Treasurer, chartered an aircraft from Brisbane to go to the fundraiser for the Labor Party at Bathurst called the Light on the Hill. There are several other shadow ministers went along, or shadow ministers subsequently have gone along and all claimed expenses. But Mr Swan claimed 7,381 or something, and that was disclosed. But he said it was official business and therefore it was all okay. He never repaid the money. I, on the other hand, was also disclosed. I was on official business and understand ministers and presiding officers are governed by the same rules. I decided that the cost was too great when I saw it, so I repaid it. So the precedent is set. It's there. It must be disclosed. What happens after that? I have to tell you,
the Green Senator David Shoebridge actually defended you, Bronwyn. He said yours was just one chopper flight, and what we've got here is $3.6 million, and there's no transparency. We don't know where it was from,
There's no comparison between the two. He is the Minister for rorting it. And that's how he will be, because it's all over his face now. And, you know, they always like to talk about the pub test and what does and fails the pub test. People think and know him to be someone who is clinging on to every possible rule and twist and turn possible. In the real world, mate, they've already decided. They know what you're doing and they know that you're running a little game here, and it won't get undone. And unless he wants to pay back the 3-point-whatever million, he can't go using the Albert Bronwyn defence, which is one of what they're playing at now.
The first time in half a century that they haven't released the travel documents. It's shocking. Now, I want to ask you both about the voice to Parliament. Bronwyn, how damaging do you think the Marcia Langton accusations of racism this week have been for the Yes case?
Hugely damaging. I mean, it's what has happened when she tried to spin a way out of it. People went digging and went back 6 years and found she hasn't changed her mind at all. She thinks that Australia is a racist swamp. This is a damn good country with good people. We have welcomed to this country millions. We all came from somewhere else. Some came 60,000 years ago, some came 6 years ago, some came 200 years ago. But what we built is a tremendous nation. Now, when I hear the statement made that all Aboriginal people are disadvantaged, that's just not right. Marcia Langton's not disadvantaged. As I've said before, Noel Pearson's not disadvantaged. But there are Aboriginal people who are tremendously disadvantaged. They need to be found out their plight, like the woman I identified on the cement slab, living there for 2 years.
No, terrible.
And all that
story.
money in from to the elders who are the custodians of these land holdings, which do not permit individual Aboriginal people to actually own them and build a house for themselves. We've got a lot of reform to do that, and none of it needs a voice in the Constitution.
Jason?
It's so obvious. This is a peephole into what's around the corner. Her behaviour and that of Mayo is just a peephole of what could happen, and people will look at it. Doesn't matter how many celebrities want to write yes on their hand and hold it up as selfies. People are looking at this and seeing it for what it is. And I think to a lot of people, whether they want to explore it or not, they look at the future of this and say, this is frightening. I don't want it, no.
All right. Bronwyn Bishop, Jason Morrison, so wonderful to have you both here tonight. Thank you.